Ricky Briganti with Orlando Attractions Magazine. I'm wondering if in the new Fantasyland expansion in Florida, are we going to see elements of the new Winnie the Pooh film as well as Rapunzel?
Well, Winnie the Pooh has a really great presence there, you know, which is a terrific ride there, and we're going to be fixing up as part of it that it's going to have a nice sense of place for people with a Winnie the Pooh there. We have a place for Tinkerbell, and the Pixie Hollow is definitely going to have a place there, and so it's so far, you know, Rapunzel is so new it hasn't found its place there yet. No, but I think I'm really excited about Tinkerbell and the other places there, and I think it's much needed. It's going to be spectacular. For those who don't know, they've announced some of the Imagineering we've been working on for quite a long time. Is really what to do with the Fantasyland of the Magic Kingdom in Florida, and it's a really terrific plan that they've come up with. It's going to be spectacular, and it's much needed. There's a saying that they say that the smallest gas stand in the longest line for the shortest rides, and so it's something that we really intend to address that, and it's going to be really a wonderful addition to that park.
Front row.
Yeah. Oh, I got two questions actually. Doug Irving with the Orange County Register. First, how do you spell Mr. Bricklehams?
Prickle, P-R-I-C-K-L-E-N-Pants, P-A-N-T-S. One word.
Toughest question of the day.
Pants.
No,
and he does wear lederhosen.
A follow-up question to that.
Not a follow-up, but you talked about the Princess and the Frog as kind of a return to hand animation.
Yes.
Why is that important to you? What do you get out of that you don't get out of computer-generated animation? And do you plan future films done that way?
Yes. Winnie the Pooh is going to be hand animated. So, yes, we hope to be doing a lot more films with that. The Walt Disney Animation Studios is the only studio in the world that's really doing the computer animation and hand animation in the same studio. I'm very excited about that. I've always felt that hand-drawn animation is there's certain subject matters and things that you can do with hand-drawn animation that you can't really do that well with computer animation, and vice versa. And I think that's the thing that at Pixar all these years, it was something where we really took pride in in choosing the subject matter that lends itself to computer animation. Now, hand-drawn animation is picking the subject matters that lend itself to hand-drawn animation. I think with The Princess and the Frog, it's a great example of that. It's the setting being in New Orleans in the bayou. With the talking animal characters along with the human characters, there's a sense of fantasy you get with hand-drawn animation. And actually, one of the things that if you think about Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and you think of the dwarf characters, those to me are always an example of that's something you still can hardly do in computer animation well. It's so, the squash and stretch, the flexibility of them, the floppiness of the clothes, all that stuff, and then a sense of character about those. And I think that's what's really great. It showed in the sequence out of Princess and the Frog where you got to see Louis the alligator. I mean, it's animated by one of the really great, Eric Goldberg, one of the great Disney animators. He's fantastic. And there's a certain life that you have with that character in the squash and stretch, and in the flexibility and the energy that you get with that. And it's something that is really special in hand-drawn animation. And, but then when you get Buzz Lightyear, or Woody, you can't do that. It wouldn't be the same in hand-drawn animation because you get to see the texture of them. They really feel like toys, and so that's where it's really, we do think very closely about, choosing the subject matter that lends itself to the medium in which you're using.
Yes, in the middle in the hat, I think. Yes, you.
Yeah. It's interesting to me that, so much of what Pixar was doing initially sort of was at the forefront of a technology and a format that sort of saw the dispersion of hand-drawn animation, and now you're back and you're championing so beautifully the return of that. Did you ever feel sort of a personal responsibility to come back and sort of spearhead the return of 2D hand-drawn?
No, I didn't really feel responsible for it. I never quite understood why the studios didn't think that people would want to watch it. I find it's interesting. It's like, because we were working so hard at Pixar and doing these films, and people just loved our films, everybody just looked over at that and said, oh, that's what people want to watch these days, is computer animation. And it's like, imagine this. Imagine in the live-action world, two studios, where one studio is making really successful films that people love, and the other studio is doing okay films, pretty good films. And so the pretty good film studio is looking over at this studio going, oh, I get it. I know why our films aren't doing as well. We're using a different camera. We're going to now start making movies with that camera, and everyone will love our movies. That's ridiculous, and everybody knows that. That's exactly the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. Brad Bird puts it most beautifully. Animation is not a genre of film. Animation is a medium. What we make is films. First and foremost, we make films, and our focus is making good films, right? We choose the right subject matter that lends itself to our medium, so you can't imagine this film in any other medium. And so I never quite understood why. What audiences didn't want to watch was bad movies. Anderson always said that 2D animation became the scapegoat for bad storytelling, and I think that's an honest truth. And so to us, when we came back, it's like, I love animation. I'm doing what I do for a living, my life's work. I devoted my life to this one thing in creating animation because of these films, and they meant that much to me, right? And so to me, I wanted to come back, and I wanted to, because it's a gorgeous medium. It's a gorgeous art form. When you see this work at the highest level, like Princess and the Frog, and that's what we've been dedicated to do. And honestly, you have never met a group of artists that are more dedicated to proving something than the group of artists that have made Princess and the Frog. And this film is just beautiful. And so I'm really excited. And it just, when you sit and watch this film, it's so fun. In the music and the fairy tale nature of it and all, I think it's really great. And I think it'll be timeless as well, because it has that kind of quality.
Good. Right here in the front.
Yes, hi. My name is Jim Madden. Excuse me. My name is Jim Madden from two sites, moviepropcollectors.com, and a new site that's going to start called DisneyX.com. And I noticed when you showed Prep and Landing, the quality, it was just incredible. Was there any plans with trying to combine like the two different styles between hand-drawn and 3D or even live action, with all or part of the different types of animation?
For that project?
Well, for any of the projects in the future, or it just looked incredible about how that looked and quality.
Well, yeah, again, it's like thinking of the story, and letting the story kind of choose how you make the movie. And I think with Prep and Landing, you looked at it, and it just was. There's sort of it combines the kind of special forces, kind of covert nature, along with Christmas, and that the juxtaposition of imagery and things and gadgets and fun, just was so special, and I thought, well, it's really perfect for computer animation because of that kind of subject matter and the style of the filmmaking, and so that's what we wanted to do there. And I think we let the movies. Kind of the stories, and the directors, most importantly the filmmakers, kind of think about sort of how they want to make movies. But honestly, for me personally, I'm an animator. That's what I like to do. I love to create animation. I love the fantasy of it. I love the worlds that you create. I love showing people that something that they've never seen before. And even though we work with developing at Pixar, we've developed a lot of computer animation technology out there in the world, and we always, the part of what computer animation can do is the photorealistic nature of it, but we tend to take a step back from that and produce something the audience knows does not exist, and then use those tools. So it's like, okay, I know it doesn't exist, but boy, I'm sure it's real. And that's the kind of fun place I like for in computer animation, like to put people's, the audience as part of the entertainment.
Great.